Alrighty, welcome everyone to another episode of the Big Brain MMA podcast. I told you you'd get sick of me. 3 podcasts in 3 days. I'm just going to smash out a quick KSW full card prediction right before PFL main card kicks off. I'm trying to live bet some stuff. So I'll get straight to it. I won't have time later on. I do have a couple of plays here, so I couldn't get tape on some fights. Some are easy passes, so I'll just power through them, and then when I get to my plays, I'll run through them. So let's not waste any time. Let's just kick straight into it. The first fight, look at these names: Przemysław Zonyarek. I'm proud of that. And Mark Dusis. This German dude is very aggressive. Mark Dusis. He's had a KSW fight. He lost to the Damien kid that I tried to fade. I wanted to fade last KSW fight as a favorite, and I passed, and I regret that. He lost to him by triangle choke. He was doing good. He seems like a very powerful, aggressive striker. And this other dude, the 3-1, Przemysław, he's just a wrestler. He's a wrestler. I couldn't find his ACA fight. I couldn't find his other fights. Mark is a slight favorite. It's just like low-level stuff. I can't find tape, just forcing it. So, easy pass. Let's move on. This one, this is going to be a good fight. I think a little bit hard to get a read on, but Artur Sovinski, Donovan Desmay, really good fight actually. This Sovinski guy had a fight against Conor McGregor back in the day, and he got finished by ground and pound from Mount. This was ages ago in regionals, in the smallest cage I've ever seen in my life. Sovinski, I think, is kind of like a gatekeeper for KSW now. He's a decent kickboxer. He's got a few KOs. He's 35 years old now. He had a featherweight fight against Saladin Panais. He lost to Mankowski. He lost to Sebastian Rajewski, the guy that's fighting for the title in the main event. And it was a split decision too. So, I mean, he's losing to high-end guys in KSW, but he's a kickboxer, and he's getting there in age, and he can be taken down. He looks to stay on the outside and strike. He can crack. But yeah, submission defense doesn't seem too bad, but he's literally, if we click into it, all those losses, due to getting grappled. So obviously Panais, really athletic, current champion, I think is UFC bound, just kind of kicked him from a distance and then decided to take him down when the time was right. This Kleber Herbst is an absolute animal. He's 22-4, currently in Ryzen. Last fight he lost was to Gamrot. He's like 7-fight winning streak. Park, couldn't find that fight. I assume he just grappled him. And then the 2 fights after that, he got KOs in the first round. And then Mankowski took him down in the first. Mankowski lost the second by getting outstruck. And then he took him down in the third and won the same way. And Rajewski was a striking battle, and he lost. He's lost a split decision, and he got dropped, but he also dropped Rajewski himself. Desmay is actually a really good fighter. I mean, I like him. It's a shame about his gas tank. I passed first card in January. He actually fought Rajewski, the worst Rajewski brother, not the guy that's fighting for the title in the main card, but the guy that's known for pulling stunts. He lost last KSW card as a massive favorite, just doing good, and just fell over, got hit behind the head, and got choked out instantly by an overweight guy that was eating McDonald's, not even in camp. But Desmay mixes it up. He's very calm in there. He's got good striking. He's got good power. He's strong, good takedowns, great ground game. I mean, he's lost to Mason Jones. He's lost a split decision title fight in Cage Warriors. He's lost to another Polish guy on this card later on, who's just a really good wrestler. He was doing great. He was tossing him around in the first round, outstriking him, timing really good knees when the guy was going for takedowns. He's an impressive striker, Desmay. I think his record really doesn't do him justice. He's so well-rounded. Durable power, takedowns, ground game, and the way he fights, he just picks his shots. He's not flaky, but it's just that cardio, And this fight is a pick'em. And I really thought about playing Desmay. Like the way Artur fights, he just stays on the outside, looks to pick you apart. leg kicks, throw some heavy hooks. And, it's going to be a slow-paced fight with Desmay won't mind being on the outside, and if he can maybe steal rounds with takedowns. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I got scared off the cardio last time, and it didn't matter. He still won as a big dog. Yeah, his chin is good too. I don't see him getting cracked. I think he's got a lot more left in the tank. Yeah. It's a pass for me. It's a pass for me, but I got really close to playing Desmay here. I think he could have just stayed on the outside, had a somewhat competitive striking battle with Shimansky. The problem is his volume. His volume's a bit low. Shimansky would definitely be throwing a lot more leg kicks, etc., etc. Clearly getting the round in the stand-up department until getting the takedown. So yeah, I feel like I'm kind of forcing it, but yeah, Desmay is someone you wanna take advantage of as a dog, like in his last fight. But yeah, if something happened and I got forced, Desmay was a dog, I would play him. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just gonna pass. All right, my first play of the card: Roman Shimansky versus Valeru Masaya. I don't know if I got that close. First time seeing this Masaya dude. I was impressed by his record and how young he is. First fight I seen was his Finnish loss to Cody McKenzie with the McKenzie team, and I was like, oh man, that's a red flag. And I watched the fight. I saw McKenzie ended his 5-fight losing streak with that guillotine. And I was like, oh man, how bad is this guy? No wonder he's such a decent dog. And he hurt McKenzie with a body kick. He's very explosive, this guy, Valeru. Very explosive. He hurt him. He was throwing bombs. He kind of got gassed out. I'm like, okay, so I can see, why he's got so many wins. Obviously got a lot of KOs and then he gasses out. I started watching some of his later fights in Brave. He was a champion at Eagle Championship. It's not Eagle FC. It's some other one. Eagle's next level. And he's got a few KOs. He knocked out Barbosa with one punch. He had a split decision with Martu Mazumian. Now, this guy is a beast. Who else did he fight? 13-3 Armenian guy, not even 30. Oh, that's right. He had a fight with Islam Mamedov, the guy that's in Bellator now. And it was just, they had a back and forth takedown war. And in the end, Islam got a round 3 Niba. But yeah, he's improved a lot, this Valeru. Now after that, he had a really close fight with Omar Solomanov. I mean, in this Eagle and Brave, there's a lot of underrated, high-quality talent, man. Some of these guys were beasts. And then he finished off his last fight in Brave with a 43-second KO of Ayub Gozlayev, 12-2. Just sparked him, just a 1-2 down the pipe, and the guy went out cold. But this guy is very explosive. Very, very explosive. Hits hard. 28, not in his prime yet. He's making improvements. He's hard to hold down. He's a bit wild and he's a bit gassy, but I mean, that 5-round fight that he lost to that Martin Mazultian, that was a split decision. And dude, I thought he got robbed there. He had really long top time, round 1 to 3, just took him down and stayed on top. He got reversed a little bit in round 3, but that wasn't enough to give him round 3. So I thought it was 3-0 up, and then he went to a 5-round decision and he got robbed. So this guy's, he can go to decisions. It's not just KO artist, and he's quite a big dog. And Roman Shimansky's been a stable of KSW for a while. He's a young kid. He beat Torres. He's fighting later on in the card, who was a champion at KSW. He's beat Torres. He beat Donovan Desmay, who's I just talked about. Desmay, he had a rough round 1 and a bit of round 2, and Desmay gassed, and he just took over. He fought for the belt before that against Marion, who's he's fighting for the belt in the main event as well. He got knocked out with the body kick later on. He also fought for the belt and lost. He's kind of like a kid that stays on the outside. He's got a really good reactive double. Stays on the really good reactive double. He can kind of get shucked off and reversed. But in his last few fights, he seems to have really improved his control. And what I'm noticing is a lot of his fights are, either struggle with the takedown or get hit a bit or get the takedown win it, lose round 2, and then he's really, really reliable to get the takedown in round 3 and stay on top and win. Like he did that against Desmay. He did it against Phillips, the guy that he beat before. He's also a Croatian dude that's been in KSW for a while. Got some power. Got hit a bit in round 1. Got hit in round 2. Got takedown in round 3. Got reversed, and then he just got up, reversed him, and just finished him in crucifix. Against Torres, Daniel Torres, they fought in 2018, so Torres was a bit younger. Took him down, won round 1. Torres stuffed every takedown in round 2. He looked a bit gassy. Looked like Torres was taking over. And then Roman got round 3 takedown and just would not let him get up. Torres was about to get up and he threatened the guillotine. Torres had to go back to his back again, and he just solidified a 29-28. So that was 4 years ago. The kid's now 29. He's improving. He's improving, but I just think, he's lost 2-3 fights by KO in his losses. He can definitely be KO'd. Even Panis, the champion, knocked him out in round 2. And Marion, the champion, knocked him out with a body kick. But, that guy's more of a decision machine. He's really, really death by 1,000 cuts kind of striker. Jab, leg kick, until people just fall apart. But yeah, man, this is I've got to play on Valeru, man. Valeru is really explosive, strong. I think he's got all the finishing upside early. Shimansky's still got that hittable chin. I wouldn't say he's flaky, but he's just I think he's susceptible to getting hit and susceptible to getting knocked out. He needs that takedown. He can probably get a takedown on Masaya because his reactive double on a guy that loads up as much as Valeru, it's going to be there. But the guy is so explosive early. He just take him down and he's just like a cat, hard wizard, straight back up. And I can even see him getting on top of Roman. $3.10. I got half a unit. He's just live to knock him out. And then even if this drags out, yes, it could be 1-1 going into the third and Roman just gets a takedown. He's proven to be the more, reliable guy over 3-round decisions with his cardio and gas tank in his game plan. But Valeru is improving, man. He's improving and he's reaching his prime as well. And he's fought some absolute beasts in Brave. Similar game plans, Russians with grappling upside. If you wanted to risk less, Valeru by KO is like $5. But I just thought, why get greedy? He's a massive dog as is. A little sprinkle on him. I can see him winning a decision. I know it's in Poland, but judging's pretty good in Poland. And I just think that the local is being overrated. The juice. You've seen KSW, the local Polish fighters always get crazy juiced odds. So yeah, half a unit on Masaya, the absolute beast, the solitary wolf. So hopefully it comes through. Phillips versus Mikhail Martinek. I was going back and forth on this fight. A lot of tape. Stowawi is kind of like looks like an out of shape heavyweight, but consistent pressure, boxing, really nice hands, 1-2s. His 2 losses are by split. He's hittable. He's just a sprawl and brawl guy. He's got kind of nice underhooks. Nice sprawl as well. I've seen him on his back twice. Against really low level guys, and he gets up, but it's he's a turtle for a long time, and it's hard to. I have this feeling that his ground game is bad, but we just don't see it. I watched 10 fights, and he lost round 1 to one of the really bad guys. He's basically a can crusher. The one guy he fought was about 9-1. I thought he actually beat him. I thought he beat that guy too. But that's the thing. He plods forward. He wants a brawl. He swings in the pocket. Stuff the takedowns, and he just keeps coming, and he's got a lot of KOs because people just falter and fall apart, and he keeps coming because he's got the better cardio and better combinations. But the split decisions that he's losing, it's because he's getting hit in the pocket as well. Whereas Michael Martinek, we've seen that guy on Contender Series against Nascimento. He's very undersized. He's he's fighting people in ACB that they've got like 30-40 pounds on him. Props to him, man. Like, he should drop down to light heavyweight. But his striking so improved. Like, recently he just knocked out Victor Pesta, broke his jaw in round 1, and before that he was just a body lock guy and finished everyone on bottom. He's got like a hands low, switch stance, looks to counter you, looks to blitz in, kind of style. And I was like, okay, I'm seeing more and more improvements from his striking fight to fight. And then he looked really good against Pesta. I know Pesta's super hittable. We just saw him get knocked out by Wilkinson. It was embarrassing. And I was like, okay, he's improving his hands. And then he fought Daniel James, who's a massive guy. The guy missed weight for heavyweight, 270 pounds. 270 pounds. And he's fighting Daniel James, who's 230 pounds. I mean, people cut from 230 to go to light heavyweight. And he rocks Daniel James. He rocks him with like one of his, in and out shots because he's so much faster. He's like a small striker in the pocket. He looks to kind of counter you. And he rocks him and he drops him. Man, he gets out of round one. I'm like, man, this guy's like a giant killer. And then Daniel James just crowds him, falls on top of him. And the guy just he looked horrendous, man. It looked like it was 2 weight classes difference, 40 pounds difference. And he just kind of falls under him. Daniel James just sprawls on him and just crucifixes him. And those crucifixes look brutal. When there's a stoppage from like little rabbit punches, man, every single one of those punches in the crucifix looked like it was going to push his head through the ground. Herb Dean saved him there. But yeah, that was massive size disadvantage. But he was doing good. He was, like I said, props to him. Then he fights Thomas Putanikas, another massive guy. He wins a split there. Does good hurting him. He gets hurt back. And then he uses his grappling like he used to in round 3 to take him down and win a split. And then fights Denis Moldarau, another giant Russian Moldovan. The guy just runs through him. There's such a big size difference. So yeah, Phillips Tabawi, he's got about 30 pounds on him. He kind of looks like an overweight heavyweight, but his cardio looks good. I thought I was going to hit Martinek here, just like the more cleaner. He's always starts out well with cleaner strikes, the improved strikes that he has. Whereas, Phillips going to come into the pocket, plotting, wanting that brawl. He's definitely going to get hit. Both guys are going to get hit. Both guys are going to have a brawl, and it's just, I don't know, it's just like a heavyweight fight. I can see Martinek taking Philip down with his good body locks, and then, Stawawi surviving, gets up, and he just doesn't stop coming. Like even the fights even in his last fight, I couldn't find round 2, but in round 1, he was getting destroyed by this guy. He's getting destroyed up against the cage, just eating bombs. He's bloody. And then round 2, he won. And I know how he won, even though I can't find the fight, because he does the same thing. Comes out round 2 and he just keeps pressuring, and all those heavyweights are done. They can't handle the pressure and the output, and they just get KO'd. So I can kind of see that Martinek's been giving me gassy vibes. He always starts hard, but then if he doesn't get the finish, I can see Philip coming on late. I can see a split decision. It's pick him. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're definitely forcing this one if I hit either side. So I would play Martinek, but who the hell knows? So unfortunately, it's another pass. Jakub, Viklax, and Bruno Santos. A hard fight for me to get a read on this one. Two young guys. Really similar level of competition. Actually, they've been fighting the same fighters. Jakub he's 25 years old. He's the local guy, Polish. He's a minus 200 favorite, and first thing I got from him was very submission-oriented guy. First fight outside of on the regionals, he's just going crazy for a triangle, can't get it, and he's just sitting on his back until he eventually gets that triangle. Then in KSW, he fought in his debut. He fought Sebastian Prizub. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Prizubis. A lot of Zs, a lot of Ys. Got knocked out in round 3. And then I'm like, oh, that's a bad sign. Maybe I was right about him being submission or bust. And then I watched Santos, his opponent, Bruno Santos, who's 23 years old and also wants to grapple. And he's fighting this Sebastian guy as well. And Sebastian submits him with a reverse triangle in the 3rd round. And I'm like, that's a bad look too. And then I check it out, and this Sebastian guy is the current champion. So he's beaten both of them. He's finished one guy with body shots in round 3, and he's finished Santos with a reverse triangle submission in round 3. So that guy's just a beast, and he's the current champion. So, they've got that one in common. And then also, they both fought Antun Racic, which is, he was the champion in the KSW before Sebastian. He was like a wrestler, 25-9 Croatian dude. And Bruno Santos, he ends up getting his back in round 1 and round 2, and he couldn't submit him. He had it for majority of the round. And then round 3, Racic takes him down, and then round 4 and 5, just the better cardio, the grind, the wrestling. He wins a title fight, 5-round title fight. It's like, okay, good performance from a 23-year-old. If that was a 3-round fight, he wins. He beats the champion, but it wasn't, obviously. And his opponent, Jakub also fought Racic when Racic won, when Racic lost his title to Patrick, the current champion, and Racic took him down as well. Straight away to the wrestling game plan, easily. And Viklash, looking for a subs, goes for a guillotine, doesn't get it, and I'm like, okay, this guy still, all he wants is a takedown. All he wants is submissions off his back. Gets up. Racic takes him down again, and then this time, Viklash gets a guillotine and in a massive upset victory, right? But I mean, and now he's a minus 200 over Bruno Santos, who also was, 2 rounds up against the ex-champion and then got wrestled. What happens if he doesn't get that guillotine? What happens if Racic keeps grappling him? He probably goes to a 3-round decision, grapple fest as well, like Bruno Santos lost. And is he going to be a minus 200 after that? I can't get a read on these guys. I watched the last 4 fights of each guy, and they both seem like young grapplers. Bruno Santos is more takedown oriented, whereas Jakub is more, he wants his own takedowns, but he's happy to be on his back. He's just, dangerous guillotines, dangerous triangles. I can't get a read. All I have in my mind is that this is wide, and the Polish guy is minus 200 because he submitted an ex-champion, whereas Bruno Santos lost to the ex-champion. Just kind of recency bias and overreaction. But yeah, it's a pass fight for me. If I was forced, I don't know. I mean, Bruno Santos getting reverse triangled by the current champion was a bit like, maybe he can be subbed. I think that was his only sub. But I just don't know. I had to go a lot deeper to see what his submission defense is like, and that's just not enough time to go deep into a KSW fight like this. So, pass fight for me. I just think the line is not accurate. Maybe it is. Maybe Jakub gets a finish. Who knows? All right. Got another play here. We've got Boris Mankowski versus Daniel Torres. This is a great fight, man. Great fight. Kind of surprised that Torres was such a massive underdog. I got him at $4. What is that in American odds? Plus 400, I think. Plus 300. I got him. Daniel Torres is the next champ. He was the only guy to beat Daniel Panaris in featherweight. Very physical, athletic guy. He's got that karate stance. Very hittable, but man, the guy has an iron chin. Never seen him rocked. He just stays in the pocket with his hands low and looks to counter. I think he's confident he's always going to win that battle. That's how he beat Panaris. Just knocked him out. He even landed with a forearm on the top of his head and KO'd him. So I think, look, if you're going to swing in the pocket with me, I'll have my chin down and I'm always going to come out on top. Mankowski just had a title fight against Marion, who's in the main event, and some people thought it was close. He lost 3 rounds to 2 unanimous. Some people thought maybe he won 3 rounds to 2. That's probably why the line was so wide to begin with. It's narrowed now. It's only minus 200 now. So I've got a bit of money on Daniel Torres. We've seen Torres lose by getting wrestled. He lost to Sebastian, the kid that's fighting the Moldovan guy that I said I'm fading. He's also been taken. He lost to Panais, who kind of took him down and won that way a couple of rounds. But Panais, man, is a lot more dangerous on the feet. Mankowski doesn't have that kind of stand-up. Everything, his boxing is just rudimentary, just for the sake of getting in the clinch. I don't think his wrestling's the best. He's just really heavy against the cage. Torres is very, very physical, man. He was actually taking Panais down. And he was getting up, getting taken down. It was a 5-round fight. That was a featherweight. He missed weight, so he was stripped of his title anyway. But he's moved up to lightweight now to fight Mankowski, who used to be a welterweight. So I think that's why the line is so crazy. Like I said before, the local Polish guys get juiced. I think someone told me, I mentioned this last time, someone told me that Polish people really love to bet. And obviously they hammer these lines on the locals. And Boris, I think he his 18th fight or more in KSW. He's like the Damian Maia of KSW. He's got like 3 hours plus. He's just grown up in there. He just had a title shot, dropped down from welterweight to lightweight. It was a big lightweight. And Torres, moving up from featherweight to lightweight, I guess people think he's going to have a size disadvantage, and he's lost before by getting out grappled. But man, this is not an easy fight for Mankowski. I just think it's wide. Yeah, he might get a grinding win, but I see a lot of cage grappling here. I see a lot of grinding, scrambles. Torres very hard to submit. Don't think he's ever been submitted. Really calm in guillotines. Just really calm when he gets his back taken. He missed weight, and I already mentioned that's why he lost his. That's why he got stripped of his title either way. So he's not a small guy. And then after that, he went on the regionals and won a fight by KO ground and pound at lightweight. So he's moved up. He's had one fight at lightweight. So I don't think he's going to be undersized here. Yeah, I think it's wide. I think Torres is very, very live to win at least one round. And at that point, I mean, $4, man, minus 300. I just think there's a bit of recency bias. People think he's going to be undersized. Mankowski coming off a close title fight, but it's a completely different match. He was fighting a striker. Now he's fighting a physical guy that can maybe match his physicality. And it's hard to hold down, hard to submit. It's going to be a decision, 100%. I'll be surprised unless maybe Torres gets a fluky knockout. Torres has decent takedown defense. If you can get him, if you time it under his, because he loads up so much, looking to throw bombs in the pocket, you can time a takedown under him. But when he's expecting it and you get on his hips, he digs underhooks quickly. He goes for a guillotine that gets people to back off. So that annoys me because he's not guillotining Mankowski. And if anything, they're just going to give up a takedown. He was doing that against Paneris as well. And I don't know if he's learned from that mistake. He seems like a guy that's stuck in his ways. But yeah, just wide. Good fight, very good fight, and wide. It's kind of like two ex-champions, moving up. It kind of feels like a super fight, a KSW super fight. So I'm really excited about this one. So yeah, I got a quarter unit. I got a quarter unit on Torres. I probably should have put half a unit at $4, man, but whatever. Size advantage. Boris is durable. I don't think he's going to get knocked out, and I could see him maybe getting a 29-28. Just he's very reliable just to keep clinching, even though he doesn't have the best control, and even though he'll get stuffed a lot. Round 3 comes along. I know Boris is just going to keep clinching, and he might steal that round. So I got a quarter unit. See what happens, but yeah, that was probably the widest line and most inaccurate line for me on this card. Artur's Biska, Rachenko. These are two boxers. Artur is just making his debut, MMA debut. He's been knocked out a lot. A lot of people are saying Rachenko's the play. I didn't have time to go into his boxing career. I know he's been knocked out a lot, so I see that's why I see people on Topology saying he's washed. Rachenko's had 3 MMA fights. He won 2 of them. He lost one just by getting wrestled. I don't think that's in play. He had 2 boxers. They already fought in the boxing ring, went to decision. Yeah, pass fight for me, man. I'm not going to bet these boxers in MMA fights. Ugh, who the fuck knows? Same as this next one. Martin Rozalski, Errol Zimmerman. Zimmerman's a glory kickboxer. He knocked out Nico Verhoeven, fighting a 43-year-old rapper, I think, in Poland. Marcin, who he can scrap, man. Marcin, he beat Puds by guillotine, I think, and he's knocked out a few people. He can crack this guy, and this is a freak show. Bare knuckle. It's not a bare knuckle. It's a kickboxing fight with MMA gloves, but there's ground and pound. So there's no count. So if you fall down, you can jump on him and just ground and pound him out. So Errol is a massive favorite, obviously, because he's got the kickboxing pedigree. He's a proven. I don't know if he was a champ, but he's fought for the belt. And obviously, Rico Verhoeven, he beat him in the rematch. He's one of the best kickboxers ever. But he seems like a very durable guy. I watched his last kickboxing fight where he fought Rade Opacic, which is a Serbian animal. He's a 6'6" heavyweight. That guy hits like an absolute truck. And Zimmerman was just eating bombs from him. He eventually got finished with a spinning wheel kick. But yeah, Rade is an absolute animal, man. The fact that he was taking the beating, that was only a year ago. So it gives me an idea to see how washed this guy is. A lot of these kickboxers, when they go into MMA for money, they're washed. But yeah, this is a freak show fight. He should win, but I mean, because there's ground and pound and MMA gloves, he's got that typical Dutch style, likes to shell up. It's Martin guy, he loves to crack, man. He's not scared to go in a brawl. Someone gets hit, Errol falls down, and it gets ground and pounded out. As a kickboxer, he has no idea what to do on his back. So, freak show fights. Don't want my money on freak show fights. And main event, Marian Ziółkowski versus Sebastian Rajewski. Rajewski is the better brother of the two. Yeah, unfortunate about these odds. There's been some good value on KSW main events. First event of the year, I had 2 units on Marian versus Mankowski in a 5-round fight. It was a bit closer than I thought it would be, but I just thought he would just jab and stuff the takedowns. Might give up a few, but I just thought worst case he was going to win 3 rounds to 2. And again, good judging in KSW. It wasn't even a split. They're just more damage, calf kick, jabs. He's a really good striker. I really like his style. A little bit more volume would be good. I'm not a fan of how low output he is. It's all jabs and leg kicks, and he kind of gives away rounds. And then he starts to open up more as fights progress into round 4 and 5. It's one of those. He's definitely a 5-round fighter. He likes to feel things out. That's probably why the Mankowski fight was so close. Even though Mankowski, like I said, with his stand-up, he's just close the distance. And Sebastian, strictly a kickboxer. He's been knocked out a bunch of times before. I don't think his chin's the best. The Phillips Page guy that's in KSW, literally one punch KO'd him 20 seconds in. That guy can crack, but man, that punch was like it was out cold. That's a warning sign. He got a title shot off a split decision to Sovinsky, the guy that's fighting Desmay. He dropped him. Sovinsky dropped him back in the first round. So that chin is like he's a southpaw. I thought about Marian by finish, but it's minus money. It's almost minus 200, and just how little he wants to finish the fight. It's not very. Doesn't fill me with confidence. He might just have a 5-round striking battle, and his best chance to finish him is a 1-2. He's got a really good 1-2 down the pipe, and he overextends. He just extends with it, and he just cracks people. It's really nice. I like his technique. But Sebastian, if he gets dropped, he can survive, and I don't know. There's no value on this fight. Marian is a massive favorite, and who knows? I'll probably play Sebastian by decision. All right, we'll get a 5-round technical stand-up fight. Sebastian likes to take the center. Marian likes to skirt on the outside. They might just kickbox each other for 5 rounds. Who knows, man? They're both polished. They're both fan favorites. Maybe they just give it to one of the, Rajewski, because he does more with his strikes. He's definitely got more output. But then he might give up rounds with his chin. Just gets a 1-2 down the pipe and gets rocked. He's also a southpaw. Marian's calf kick and jab might not be there as much as 2 orthodox fighters. But yeah, unfortunately, past fight, probably one of the first times in a while that there was not much value in the main event in KSW. Puds, I'm so annoyed that I passed on Puds last time. Me and Thimble were just banging on about how much value that is. But anyway, but yeah, that's past fight for me. There's nothing really I like here. And yeah, that's the card, nice and quick. I'll go back to PFL. Hopefully I didn't miss out on anything. So I got a quarter unit on. Let me just double check. Quarter unit on Torres. Odds have narrowed quite a bit on that now. I think everyone else noticed that was wide. And a quarter unit on Masaya, the crazy Moldovan that hits like a truck, at $3.10. Minus 400 odds as well. So hopefully those hit, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. And good luck to everyone, and we'll see you again next week with some more podcasts.